You don't have to do anything, just sign up. Andy Combs is next. He'll have Admiral Thad Allen. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again next time. Remember to spin. Stops right here, because we're looking out for you.
And this is a Fox News alert. Tropical storm Rita is now moving towards the Florida Keys, and forecasters believe it could gain strength in the next 24 hours and make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Our own Orlando Salinas is reporting tonight from the Florida Keys, where preparations are being made right now.
Hey, Sean, Rita's not quite ready to make that jump to a Category 1 hurricane. Her winds still busting out at about 70 miles per hour, but forecasters say the conditions are just about perfect for her to morph into something a whole lot bigger. Around the Florida Keys, up and down, inside Miami-Dade County and Broward, folks have been busy boarding up their homes, boarding up their businesses. Forecasters say Rita has ramped up awfully doggone fast. That is a blessing, and that is a curse. Let me tell you, it is a curse because while she has not been able to sit out in the water, those warm Gulf waters, very long and suck up tens of thousands of tons of water, that is also bad because she is actually coming in so fast there has not been enough time for people to evacuate, as many people as maybe could have wanted to evacuate. Now, the mandatory evacuation is for everybody. A hurricane warning stretching from the Keys to Miami-Dade County. School buses, Greyhound buses, we're told, being used to get big chunks of people out fast from the Keys. Folks who had moved to shelters in Monroe County here in the Keys have been moved again. They've been moved further inland this time. Governor Jeb Bush has declared a state of emergency and is urging Floridians to take Rita seriously. Take a listen to Governor Bush.
Somehow people might think that a Category 1 or 2 force storm is something that is not that big of a deal. It is. We have too much experience to know that. No otherwise. So I urge people to take this storm seriously.
Forecasters say by the time Rita does hit, she could be a Category 2 or a Category 3 hurricane, dumping as much as 15 inches of rain in this area. And these folks around here could see a storm surge of as much as 9 feet. Sean, Alan?
All right, thanks, Orlando. We're going to get a weather update in just a few minutes. We'll tell you more of the track of this storm and what it could mean. And is there more trouble potentially for the people of New Orleans? And also coming up tonight, you knew it was coming. Former President Bill Clinton dropped some bombs on our current commander-in-chief this weekend. But was this a calculated move to benefit Hillary? We'll tell you about that. Then take a look at what Minister Louis Farrakhan says about the flood in New Orleans. Quote, in that levee, there was a 25-foot hole which suggested that it may have been blown up so that the water would destroy the black part of town. Now, the scary part is he's serious. We're going to hear tonight from one of his supporters about this outrageous claim. Plus, you won't believe how some people are spending their hurricane relief money. What if we told you they were spending that money at strip clubs, on expensive handbags? And we're not making this up. My buddy Neil Bortz will be here to talk about the economics of Hurricane Katrina. We'll also tonight update you on the case of another missing college freshman. She vanished almost 2 weeks ago. Now police have found a very important piece of evidence. We'll give you that new development tonight. But first, our top story again tonight in Louisiana, where New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin suspended all re-entry into the city late this afternoon because of concerns about Tropical Storm Rita. Earlier in the day, the mayor seemed to be at odds with federal authorities about letting people return to their homes. Joining us now from Baton Rouge is the U.S. Coast Guard Vice Admiral Thad Allen, who is directing the FEMA relief efforts in the region. Admiral, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate your time. I know you've had a long day because I saw you with Charlie Gibson this morning, sir. I want to start with this. It was clear that you and the administration and the government, the federal government, were clearly at odds with the mayor's plans to bring people back at this point until late this afternoon. Isn't that true, sir?
We weren't at odds with the plans. We were at odds with the timing of the plans and whether or not the conditions were set for reentry. We've never argued or had any problem with the mayor's vision on trying to repopulate the city. In fact, we support that. We just didn't think that the conditions were set for the safe reentry of people.
Now that the mayor has reversed himself, it seemed to me that you had had negotiations with the mayor and his staff, and that they were reluctant to go along with what was the obvious smart thing to do here, and it took a lot of public pressure on your part to get him to do the right thing. Isn't that true?
I didn't get the mayor to do the right thing. The mayor did the right thing. And again, we both agree that we need to repopulate the city. It's really a matter of how you're going to set the conditions and when you do that. I had a meeting with the mayor this afternoon, and we are aligned to moving forward.
I understand that, but there was clearly some controversy. There was clearly a standoff, no?
Well, I wouldn't call it a standoff because I had met with the mayor last Friday. The main point that we discussed was how quickly this was going to happen. And the position of the federal government was that you don't want to bring people into the city until you have water, 911 service, and most of all, an evacuation plan for the people that were going to be in the city.
But the president,
ultimately, the city needs to be repopulated, and we support that.
But the president said all of what you're saying here, but the president himself said he would intervene personally on the matter of the mayor, and that he meant for his public comments to make sure that the mayor, quote, gets the point. Andy Card also stressed that point, and they also stressed that you were ahead of the government's response there, and you were delivering the concerns personally. So there was and my only point here is this. I think this mayor should resign. I think the fact that he left those buses without using them, hundreds of them, was a disgrace. The fact that he had 30 years warning about how catastrophic this could be and still didn't do anything. The fact that they had 5 days about how dangerous it was heading in their direction. The fact that he has been blaming and carrying on the way he is and he didn't use Amtrak trains. So I just think this is an important point. It seems to me this mayor has not learned a lesson.
Well, the political status of the mayor is really not my purview. I'm here to lead the coordinated federal effort in the response, and our goal is to work with the mayor and move things forward.
Admiral Allen, it's Alan Combs. Thank you for doing our show. As I understand it, the mayor all along has said his plan was fluid. He was not tied in to a particular time frame, and he was fluid about continually reassessing how people and when people would get back to their homes. Is that correct?
That's correct. And last Friday, we had agreed to reassess on Monday, and this meeting was already scheduled when we met last Friday. At that time, it was his intention to start moving general population into the East Bank on Wednesday. The conditions regarding the current storm with Rita and other factors were brought into play, and we've decided that that can wait a while.
The fact that people have started to go back to Algiers, is that acceptable to people on all levels? Because is there less damage there? Not as much of a problem as other parts of the city. Is that correct?
We worked through a very strict process with the city, and I might add, this is the same process that we had worked with the mayor's staff for a week or so leading up to the events of the weekend. We have certain critical infrastructures, whether it's sewer, water, telephone, and that sort of thing, that we assess the condition of, and we code them either red, unacceptable, amber, you may want to accept there may be some risk, and green, good to go. For the West Bank and the Algiers area that was repopulated today, all those factors were either amber or green, and we were all in concurrence that that could move forward.
Any sense of timing in terms of how long before other parts of the city can be repopulated?
Well, there's some problematic issues associated with, but the capstone issue is an evacuation plan for the number of people that are in the city. But before you get to that, I think you got to look at drinking water, the presence of a functioning 911 system, electricity, the things that just allow people to run households. Very difficult to move a family into that type of environment. You can let the businesses in, which we did this weekend from Saturday to Sunday on a dawn to dusk basis to start picking up the pieces and putting those businesses back together again. But that larger population return really needs to be accompanied by the things that make a household able to operate. And then the crowning issue, as I said many times, is the ability to evacuate the population if you have a violent weather event, and we are being threatened with one now.
Admiral, thanks for the great work you're doing down there. We know you're working around the clock and very hard. Thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate your time. And still to come, Tropical Storm Rita is picking up speed and preparing to slam into the Florida Keys. Officials fear that the Gulf Coast may be next, and that includes New Orleans. When we get back, we'll give you the latest forecast. And then former President Bill Clinton blasts the Bush administration for its handling of the hurricane. Is he taking a stand, or is he just trying to help his wife land the job of her dreams? And Louis Farrakhan says the levees might have been blown up to destroy black neighborhoods. Straight ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Lori Dew. Iran's got a little more breathing room thanks to Russia. Moscow is asking the European Union to put off reporting Iran's nuclear program to the UN Security Council. This as the U.S. and the EU continue to press the UN's nuclear watchdog because of suspicions that Tehran wants atomic bombs. Iran's president recently vowed to continue nuclear work that could be used to make weapons. Iraq's most wanted terrorist is reportedly vowing not to attack any Shiite who condemns Iraq's new government. Abu Musab al-Zarqawi had made that declaration in a new internet statement posted today. Its authenticity cannot be verified so far. Just last week, al-Zarqawi declared an all-out war on Iraqi Shiites and soldiers. Lindy England's lawyer says his client is ready to fight charges that she abused detainees at the Abu Ghraib prison. England goes on trial tomorrow, 3 months after a judge rejected a plea deal. England's attorney will focus his defense on her history of mental problems. England was seen in photos with naked Iraqi detainees. And remembering the dead 20 years later, church bells rang in Mexico City for the victims of an 8.1 magnitude earthquake which hit in 1985. At least 9,500 people were killed and some 200,000 more were left homeless. More headlines just after the top of the hour. Hannah Deegan-Combs continues after the break.
We're always live.
Thomas Jefferson. His legacy includes the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. The Westward Journey Nickel series from the United States Mint commemorates the bicentennials of these events with a new likeness of Thomas Jefferson on the 2005 nickel, plus 2 new historic tail designs. The nickels are included in beautifully crafted silver-proof sets, a great gift idea for any occasion. To order, call 1-800-USA-MINT or visit www.usmint.gov.
You buy ginger ale at Walmart's everyday low prices. It arrived on a Walmart truck and traveled over 140 miles from a Walmart distribution center, where it was processed by over 1,000 Walmart associates and moved over 10 miles of conveyor, over 230,000 cases that same day. Why send ginger ale through one of the most efficient distribution systems ever conceived? To keep prices low for you, and we're all proud to be a part of it.
Point. How can I help you?
Hi, listen, I just got rear-ended by some yahoo.
Are you okay?
Well, I'm fine. My car's a little busted up, though.
No problem. We'll take care of it.
How fast can Farmers Help Point service get your car fixed after an accident? Well, you get the idea. Help Point is free with your policy. To find an agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS.
It's the final days of Chrysler Employee Pricing Plus. Hurry in now for the best selection of remaining 05s. They're going fast, so get to your Chrysler dealer today for employee pricing plus cash allowance on Town & Country, PT Cruiser, and Crossfire Limited. All with our employee pricing, plus up to $1,500 cash allowance on select models, which gets you a Town & Country for just under 18 grand. Don't miss out. Visit your Chrysler dealer today or visit chrysler.com/clearance.
Ever wish you had a business coach watching your back and cheering you on? In business, as in golf, being competitive requires trusted support. Administaff is like a coach for small businesses. They reduce liabilities and offer a systematic way to improve productivity. They provide your team with big company benefits and handle the burdens of employer-related paperwork. Well, almost all the paperwork. Small business is good for America. Administaff is good for small business.
He teaches high school geography in Tucson. She's a mom, balancing work and what's for dinner. And this is Take On Orbitz, the game that pits other travel services against Orbitz.com.
Today's contestants need a 4-star hotel in Manhattan near Central Park. Ready? Go. That new Orbitz neighborhood matrix makes it easy to find the right hotel.
Next time, Orbitz.
This is a Fox News alert. As we told you just a few minutes ago, Tropical Storm Rita is moving toward the Florida Keys tonight, with landfall expected sometime tomorrow. Forecasters are saying that the storm could strengthen to a Category 1 hurricane. Joining us now with the latest on the storm and its possible path is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Bastardi. Joe, thank you for being with us. With what certainty can you predict whether it'll be a Category 1 and what kind of damage it might do?
Alan, I think that's a Category 1 already. I think they should be upgrading that The next bullet in the storm is intensifying very rapidly.
Why?
It is a very dangerous situation in the Florida Keys. My advice to people in the Keys, get out or get out fast, one or the other, right now. And the reason why is we have a situation going on there. We had a situation back in 1935 where you had a Category 1 hurricane near Nassau in the Bahamas. When it crossed the Keys, Labor Day 1935, it was a Category 5 hurricane. The period of 24 hours, the thing exploded on its way through there. I don't think this has quite the oomph that does, but it could be a Category 3 at its closest approach to Key West late tomorrow and tomorrow night. This is a classic situation. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. Before I get to that, we're going to have some time to talk about it. I want to show you this interesting little graphic here of the Category 3 hurricanes that have hit Houston and Galveston, and this is where we think this is going to eventually wind up, within 50 miles of Houston and Galveston since 1900. You can see the tracks into the Gulf of Mexico converging. So this is Category 3 or greater major hurricanes that have hit that particular area. Now, I want to show you something here real quick. Look at these years: 1900, 1909, 1915, 1932, 42, 45, 49, 83. So what I'm going to say to you folks is this. If this storm does as we think in the upper Texas Gulf Coast and hits this area as a Category 3 hurricane, it is not global warming. It's these people are due for a major hurricane. Just look at the years and figure out the odds yourself. The same type of thing in New Orleans. Yes, Al?
Why have we had 17 storms this season? Why is it so busy this year?
Because of the cycle that we were in. We've been preaching this since last year we were preaching the idea that we are back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Last night I'm on Geraldo, and before I'm on, Max Mayfield's on. Even I hear him saying that now. We are in a weather cycle very similar to what we saw when, for instance, my father was growing up. My father's a meteorologist, happens to be a meteorologist, used to always tell me about the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Did you know in 1938, Alan, there was a hurricane that came up the eastern seaboard? Winds gusted to 186 miles an hour in Boston. It drove 30 feet of water up Narragansett Bay into Providence, Rhode Island. People would be going out of their mind if things like that happen today.
It's
so we're in the same kind of situation. Yes.
Joe, Sean Hannity, I'm very concerned about the Category 1. As you said, going through the Keys is very dangerous.
Well, we're going to go with that. Yes, that's right. Well,
all right,
no,
but wait, hang on. But then it's going to go back through the Gulf area. You got the warm water, and I'm not the weather expert. You are. It's going to pick up some strength there. And could it get to a Category 3, 4, 5? Well, and if it veers right, is there a possibility New Orleans could get a direct hit with a 3 or 4?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to go to at least a Category 4 hurricane because all the parameters are there for a Category 4. And you can see right here on the Saffir-Simpson scale, that means that I believe the pressure is going to get down between 920 and 944 millibars, and that will support that type of wind. So I think this is going to go to a Category 4. Wow. As far as New Orleans goes, only a good Lord above knows exactly where a storm's going to go, but we don't really think this is a New Orleans storm. And remember, we were the ones on Fox here Friday night telling people, get out of New Orleans on Friday night because that storm.
But wait a minute, it's so far away. So, why do you say not New Orleans and why Houston, Galveston?
Because of the overall weather pattern. You have to look at the overall weather pattern. The hurricane is a cork in the stream. You have to look at the different types of situations that are going on. Plus, I use a lot of history, a lot of analoging of previous weather situations. Now, one more thing. I want to show you this, guys. This thing is exploding. Look at this cloud photograph. This is a dangerous situation for the Keys. I'm worried it's at least a Category 3 when it approaches Key West tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. So you folks get out of there now.
We appreciate you coming on and telling us about it. Coming up is President Clinton entering Jimmy Carter territory, as some say. He gives an earful to President Bush yesterday. We'll tell you what he said and why. Then, are the Red Cross and FEMA too white? Louis Farrakhan thinks so, and now he's even claiming the levees were blown up intentionally. You won't believe what the leader of the National Islam is saying now. Stay with us.
Lunesta. People everywhere are discovering it. What are you waiting for? Talk to your doctor to see if Lunesta could make a difference for you.
Smart Balance Buttery Spread cooks, spreads, and tastes like real butter without the cholesterol and high saturated fat. And Smart Balance just received another Best Taste Award. So for real butter taste and the right balance, enjoy Smart Balance.
rewards faster free nights. Every 2 stays earns you a free night at Hyatt Hotels and Resorts worldwide when you pay through MasterCard. Now through November 30th.
Sorry, we can't give you a home loan. Your credit score is only 619.
That'll be 619.
The winning number is 619.
Haunted by your credit score? At LendingTree.com, get up to 4 customized loan offers, even if your credit's not perfect.
Hello, sir. We have the best rates.
When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com.
For over 75 years, we've been sacrificing Volvos in the name of safety. Today, when it comes to style and design, we sacrifice nothing. Safety is a beautiful thing, especially when it's beautiful. The 2006 Volvos.
Kitchen Caboodle and American Leather make it easy to have leather furniture custom made and handcrafted to your specifications. Choose from more than 100 leathers and over 90 colors of ultra suede. It's the ultimate in fashion, performance, and innovation. It's American Leather at Kitchen Caboodle.
It's a pretty good day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Have a pretty good day.
Leave the saving of the world to the men? I don't think so.
From the creators of Finding Nemo comes a tale of strength, speed, and family.
You want me to intervene? Okay, I'll intervene. Let go of your brother.
The Incredibles, just one of the movies you get free from Stars On Demand, only with Comcast Digital Cable.
And welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Sean Hannity. Still to come tonight, Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan says the levees in New Orleans may have been blown up intentionally in an effort to destroy the black part of town and keep the white part dry. Well, really, we'll give you the details on those shocking allegations. But first, over the weekend, former President Bill Clinton blasted the Bush administration's handling of the hurricane crisis.
You can't have an emergency plan that works if it only affects middle-class people up. And when you tell people to go do something they don't have the means to do, you're going to leave the poor out.
And just a couple hours ago, Massachusetts Senator John Kerry politicized
There's every
hurricane.
reason to believe, if you look at Katrina, that the president finally acted and admitted a mistake, only because he was held accountable by the press, cornered by events, and compelled by the outrage of the American people who with their own eyes could see the failure of leadership and its consequences.
So are Democrats really taking a principled stand, or are they using the hurricane crisis for political gain? Joining us now, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Michael Reagan and former Clinton pollster Doug Schoen is with us. All right, Michael, I may surprise you. I do not blame Bill Clinton. We all know he's incapable of controlling himself anyway. So it has nothing to do. I blame President Bush for giving him the platform continually to rehabilitate his impeached image. The president has got to learn that Bill Clinton will stab him in the back every time, as he has. I blame the president for this. What do you say?
Oh, I agree with you. First of all, I don't think the president had anything to apologize for. FEMA was at Katrina quicker than they were at, Andrew or Floyd or any one of the hurricanes you can name before that when Bill Clinton was president of the United States. Nobody was calling for Witt to be taken down. Nobody was calling on Bill Clinton to be thrown out of office because of it. Bill Clinton got to, Oklahoma. Slower than George Bush got to Katrina, but yet they have politicized this as they politicize everything.
Well, and Doug, this is the point. Every major Democrat, before we even recovered the bodies, raced out there to capitalize on a catastrophe which was just despicable in my mind. Look, I know Bill Clinton can't control himself. Why does President Bush give him this opportunity to turn around and just slap him around this way? I think it's foolish. Do you?
Because I think we all have to pull together. I think Bill Clinton...
Stop pulling together?
Certainly with what he's done with his father, both with the tsunami and with the hurricane. They've pulled together. They've raised $100 million.
But shouldn't Bill Clinton, if he accepts that role doesn't that mean he should be quiet about political criticism?
He's made it very clear that people of goodwill can disagree. He was outlining his differences, which he's spoken before about to a national audience. He spoke about tax cuts and our priorities, and I think that's appropriate.
You know what, though? Here, George W. Bush has given him an opportunity, I think, to rehabilitate his tarnished image. Bill Clinton, that is.
He's got a pretty good image, Sean.
Yeah, the impeached, lying,
Sean,
under oath president.
Sean, if
You're
I
right.
can
Great
get
image.
in for a moment.
What?
If I can get in for a moment, you know, you're talking about Bill Clinton. What about George Bush the 41st? You don't see him bashing the Clinton administration for maybe some of their failures that might have caused what went on. You don't see him playing politics with this issue.
You know, it's really,
but you see the political left, in fact, doing it.
You know what's really amazing here, Doug, is when the conservatives criticize the mayor and the governor mercilessly over and over again, they're not playing politics. But yet when you adequately and accurately criticize FEMA, the national government, the appointment of Michael Brown, the warnings they had that they didn't listen to, the late response, people being on vacation, that's considered politicizing.
Yeah, and I think there's plenty of blame to go around, Alan, and I think for Bill Clinton to speak about Democratic priorities at this time, in contrast to Republican priorities, is what he's done before and what an ex-president with stature should do.
And by the way, he also said the evacuation locally wasn't good, Michael. He blamed the mayor, blamed the governor. Bill Clinton was not walking a party line. He wasn't even blasting the president.
Alan, nobody started talking about the mayor and the governor until they started pointing a finger at FEMA in Washington, D.C. And my goodness gracious, the mayor wanted to move everybody back into New Orleans in the last 24 hours, and Washington, D.C. had to tell him, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? It shows you the lack of leadership in that area we call New Orleans, Louisiana, with the governor and with the mayor.
The mayor said it was fluid, it was up in the air, it was to be discussed. He discussed it today with Thad Allen.
Please.
We had Thad Allen say that here tonight. It was always up in the air.
Again, the mayor made a recalculation today. It is right that we would all work together to try to have the best possible solution. And you know what? It will work to the people in New Orleans'
If the mayor made the wrong decision, Michael, you'd go after him. If he kept the people, if he planned to go back to New Orleans, he's not doing that, and you're blasting him for that.
Thank you, Alan. I say thank you, the National Guard and the Coast Guard that saved 32,000 lives in the first 24 hours after Katrina. I say thank you, the National Guard and the people who were helping put their lives on the line. The people on the left haven't said thank you to anybody, anytime, any place.
I'm happy to say thank you for saving lives. It's not a problem.
By the way, the mayor's recalculation, you're good. That is the best, I think, of the best. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
All right. And coming up next, Louis Farrakhan says that the levees in New Orleans didn't break, that they were blown up in order to flood the African-American sections of town in the city. You won't believe that outrageous theory. And then strip clubs, Louis Vuitton bags. Well, that's what your hard-earned tax dollars, your relief money, is being spent on. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. We'll check out with fellow talk show host, friend Neil Bort, straight ahead.
Jenkins, do you know where Jenkins sits?
Sir, Jenkins doesn't actually work here.
But he's around all the time. I saw him here this morning.
Yeah, he's our software supplier.
From Chicago. Sir?
Here you go, Mr. Jenkins.
Now you can fly American for less than you think.
See you back here for Thursday's meeting?
I'll be here. Thank you.
Lower fares, fewer restrictions every day.
I was going to give him a raise.
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines.
Wireless data network for your small business, $0. The latest color printers for your small business, $0. 5 Trio smartphones for your small business, $0. Feeling like you can take on the world? Priceless. Use your MasterCard business card for a chance to win a free technology upgrade put together by an IT expert.
Hey, congrats, Harold. I hear they're sending you to L.A. for the negotiations. Why him? Because he can convince anybody of anything. That's not true. You're right. No, that's not true. He's right. It's not true at all. I don't know why I said that.
Actually, I was being modest. It is true.
Yeah, he's right. That is true.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
yeah.
Can you give me some papaya?
Sure. Yeah. Coming right up.
They chose you for a reason, and you chose Embassy Suites for a reason, like our spacious 2 rooms. Embassy Suites Hotels.
At Yellowbook, we looked at a lot of ideas to help you remember our name. We looked at blimps, a Yellowbook stadium. Sports marketing was a very appealing way to say Yellowbook has a lot of new fans. We even considered a line of Yellowbook clothing. Now that we're coast to coast, we've seen some pretty wild ideas. Some a little far out there. But at the end of the day, we think our book speaks for itself. So remember, yellowbook.com and Yellowbook, not the other book, 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
This is our marathon station. We own it. We run it, and, we're proud to be part of this community.
My name's on the door, so everything's got to be right. I mean, these people know me, and I want to take care of them.
When you're an independent dealer, your reputation's on the line every day.
But it's not just about running a business for us. It's about being a part of a community that we care about.
We know what our customers want because we know our customers.
Helping friends and neighbors, that's the spirit of America. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Lori Dew. Well, North Korea agreed today to get rid of its nuclear weapons program, but just hours later made demands which could derail the whole thing. Mike Emanuel is live in our D.C. newsroom with more. What happened, Mike?
Yeah, hi, Lori. New developments in the talks about North Korea and its nuclear weapons programs. Tonight, Kim Jong-il's foreign ministry says the United States must give North Korea a civilian atomic energy reactor before it will give up its nuclear arms programs. Earlier, it sounded more encouraging, like North Korea was willing to dismantle its nuclear weapons programs. The United States, South Korea, Russia, China, and Japan have been in talks with North Korea for 2 years. The 5 countries are promising to help end the famine in North Korea and build power lines to supply electricity. Today, President Bush spoke about the issue, saying the North Koreans need to follow up words with action.
5 nations have spoken and said it is not in the world's interest that North Korea have a nuclear weapon. And now there's a way forward. And part of the way forward is for the North Koreans to understand that we're serious about this and that we expect there to be a verifiable process.
More 6-party talks on the North Korea nukes issue are set for early November. Lori?
All right, Mike Emanuel, thank you very much for that. I'll have more headlines for you just after the top of the hour, but stay tuned. Hannity and Combs continues right now, right here on FNC.
Welcome back to Hannity and Combs. I'm Alan Combs. Coming up, find out how some Katrina victims are cashing in with their FEMA debit cards. You're not going to believe the shocking report. First Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan has sparked controversy for charging white people with purposely blowing up the New Orleans levees in a government conspiracy against blacks. This is what he said, and here are his words. In that levee, there was a 25-foot hole which suggested that it may have been blown up so that the water would destroy the black part of town. He's also blasted relief agencies like the Red Cross and FEMA for being too white. Is Farrakhan out of line, or do his conspiracy theories have some merit? Joining us now is the National Chief of Staff of the new Black Panther Party, Minister Hashim Nzinga. Minister Nzinga, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for
having me. Do you believe this was a purpose effort on the part of white people, blow up levees to hurt black people where they live?
I believe Minister Farrakhan wouldn't make the statement if he hadn't researched and found out that from people who know.
And you are here to say whatever he says.
I'm here to say in 1980 they knew this levee couldn't hold but a 3-size hurricane, and a 4 and 5 would wipe that area out, which just happened to be 62% black people. And this year, $17 million was put up to fix these levees, and the federal government refused to do it.
Well, that's different than saying there was actually a device that went off that purposely blew up the levees. Is that what you're claiming?
I also know that Minister Louis Farrakhan chartered 2 planes and put 16 people on them and flew to Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Jackson, Mississippi on a fact-finding mission. And he met the mayor of New Orleans and Dallas, Texas, and was told these things directly from him.
Wait, you're claiming that Mayor Nagin he himself, the mayor, is claiming that this was a planned event to blow up the levees to hurt the black population, according to the mayor of New Orleans?
I'm saying to you that Minister Farrakhan met with him in Dallas, Texas, and in Atlanta, Georgia, announced to the world before 6,400 people that this is what he was told.
Do you have any evidence? Can you produce? If this is true, if what Minister Farrakhan and what you're confirming is true, there would be some evidence, there would be some, you would see fragments, you would be able to prove that it was a bomb or something else that went off?
Sir,
you'd literally be able to prove it if what you're saying is true.
As you know, there's nobody in New Orleans now but federal agents, the National Guard. I was in New Orleans yesterday, and they won't let you go near them levees, and they won't let you go near your house.
There are a lot more people than that in New Orleans right now, and quite frankly, again, you have to be able to prove it, and you can't prove it. So you don't.
I can prove the Tuskegee experiment. I can prove what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma to black people when bombs were dropped on them. I can prove that they put smallpox in Indian blankets. Sir, America has a nasty history. Don't act shocked.
You have a black mayor of New Orleans. You have black rescue workers working with FEMA and the Red Cross.
I didn't see many of them yesterday.
And these people are complicit in trying to hurt the blacks in New Orleans?
Sir, in my city, in Stone Mountain, Georgia, in DeKalb County, we put Red Cross out of DeKalb County on yesterday, and black people took over, and they're demanding, it's time for black people to save black people because the Red Cross is not going to save black people. George Bush's mother said, these people are better off in the dome than they were in their homes in New Orleans.
Sean Hannity here. The new Black Panther Party, Malik Shabazz, suggested that Jews, without any proof there, knew about the 9/11 attacks ahead of time. Do you believe that?
Sir, you know and I know, the world knows that now. Let's move on and talk about these. Let's talk about some 100,000 black people.
Do you believe that Jews had knowledge of the 9/11 attacks ahead of time?
I absolutely believe it, sir. You know it, and I believe it.
Next question. You obviously drank the Louis Farrakhan Kool-Aid. He once said that there's a mother wheel hovering above the earth and that he was transported to the mother wheel where he had a discussion with Elijah Muhammad. Do you believe that?
I believe that, sir, and I believe that you know.
You believe there's a mother ship, a mother wheel above the earth?
I believe that we, as a black people, need to listen to black leaders. And I believe Minister Louis Farrakhan.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, he said there's a mother wheel above the earth. Do you believe there's a mother wheel hovering above the earth, sir?
Sir, I believe Minister Farrakhan is 72 years old and been fighting on behalf of black people for 40 years.
I know, but do you believe there's a mother wheel?
Homeland Security hadn't been able to touch
simple question.
He has some kind of divine protection.
Do you believe that there's a mother? Do you believe
sir,
you drank the Farrakhan Kool-Aid? He said there's a mother wheel above the earth. Do you believe that?
Kool-Aid.
Why don't you try? Why don't you try and answer the question? Do you believe that there's a mother wheel, a mother ship, or not?
I believe on October 15th, Minister Farrakhan would talk to the world, and he will give definitely answers on Katrina.
All right, I can't wait. Now my next question. He said that FEMA and the Red Cross is too white. And he also went on in one article said that he said whites aren't trying to help. Do you believe that?
I absolutely believe it. I was in New Orleans yesterday, and we went to shelters in New Orleans and visited our people. Also, we sent our people in the Houston shelters, and we went to the city council meeting because we wanted to ask the mayor why all the people in shelters are black and what happened to the whites.
Yeah.
We found out
let me
educate
you because you clearly
blacks are in the shelters.
You clearly need an education. Number one, there's no mother wheel. Number two, there is no conspiracy about 9/11. The levees, sir, were not blown up. And let me just educate you about this.
When people
saw the catastrophe in New Orleans that don't have a racial agenda like you do, America responded to their fellow Americans, white, black, and
in Alabama on your radio show, my leader, Khalid Muhammad, called you the devil, and that's what you are now.
You think I'm a devil?
You said you were the devil in Alabama on your radio show.
You think I'm the devil?
You're absolutely the devil.
I'm the devil.
You need to know about a mothership.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, but let me educate you about one point.
You can't educate me on anything.
No. So I'm going to educate you. The people that donated didn't care about the color of the skin of the people in New Orleans or anywhere else. They saw their fellow Americans in need, sir. And they donated more money than ever before in the history of this country.
Where is that
and
money
for people like you to exploit a tragedy for a racial, it's going for the people that need help.
Why are black people still in shelters? Why are black people still complaining?
There's no hope for you.
Right,
this is the devil signing out. I got to go.
Mr. Nzinga, I think he's a devil too sometimes. But thank you very much for being with us. We check in with Greta Van Susteren. She's here to tell us what's coming up right after Hannity and Combs at 10 Eastern. Greta.
Alan, danger to the southern part of the country once again as threatening storm. We're going to be following the news tonight about where that storm is likely to hit, and evacuations are underway, plus a missing college student. We took our cameras to the college, talked to her mother, and also discovered where her car was found. We'll show the viewers that and much more. Back to you.
Thanks, Greta. Be sure to watch On the Record right after Hannity and Combs. Still to come, Americans have opened their wallets to help victims of Hurricane Katrina. But is the money being used wisely? We'll tell you what's happening to your hard-earned dollars. And then there is new evidence in the case of a Virginia college student who vanished 2 weeks ago. We'll give you the details, get reaction from one of America's greatest investigative minds coming up on Hannity and Combs.
I've been meaning to talk to you about a college savings plan for Ryan.
Well, the way the cost of tuition is heading, I'm not surprised.
There are times in life when you could really use expert financial advice. For more than 145 years, Northwestern Mutual and its products have quietly earned a most enviable reputation.
David! This is Steve, my Northwestern Mutual representative.
Oh, I've been wanting to talk to you guys.
Isn't it time you had a quiet conversation of your own? Northwestern Mutual Financial Network, the quiet company.
Hyatt Gold Passports, faster free nights. Every 2 stays earns you a free night at Hyatt Hotels and Resorts worldwide when you pay through MasterCard. Now through November 30th.
Sharp multifunction products transform the office by adding enhanced color to your documents. Then Sharp technology doubled your productivity by scanning 2-sided documents in a single pass. Now Sharp's Data Security Kit is transforming the office again by preventing unauthorized access to information while keeping sensitive digital documents from falling into the wrong hands. The Sharp Digital Imager Series, all the productivity you want, all the document security you need.
And all the things I had in mind for you and me. They say something new, something new. There's something you do, there's something you do, something you do. They say something new.
Rita, a new generation for energy generation.
At UBS, we offer our clients serious financial resources. Over 100 years of experience, the expertise of the world's largest wealth management firm, and of course, the most serious resource of all, a relationship with an advisor who actually understands you. Wealth management at UBS, from wealth preservation to lending and investment. You and us. UBS.
And welcome back to Hannity and Combs. I'm Sean Hannity. Some call me the devil. Glad you're with us. And coming up next, 17-year-old college freshman Taylor Beal disappeared from a dorm room 2 weeks ago. Police now have crucial new evidence. We're going to bring you up to speed on this investigation tonight. But first, thousands of Americans displaced by Hurricane Katrina have been able to meet their emergency needs for food and clothes and shelter with debit cards issued by FEMA. But there were reports tonight that these same debit cards were used to purchase designer Louis Vuitton handbags in Atlanta and beers at strip clubs in Houston. So these isolated incidents are a sign of more widespread corruption to come. Joining us now, nationally syndicated radio talk show host, author of the #1 best-selling book. It's a terrific book, The Fair Tax Book. Neil Bortz is with us. Neil, do you believe in the mother wheel?
Well, thanks, Devil, for having me on.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
No, thanks for being back, Neil.
You forgot a couple of things. Louis Vuitton luggage, I think you covered that.
Yes.
Breast implants, emergency breast implants, emergency lap dances. But hopefully, Sean, you're not surprised by this misuse of these funds, are you?
Look, Neil, here's my fear. Everybody understands we have a moral obligation to help the people that are in need.
Right.
Nobody is against that. If you add up the dollar figures being reported and bandied about there, $200 billion. The population in New Orleans is a little over 500,000. So if there's 1 million people that are affected that would need help, and you have $200 billion, that literally is, we could write a check of $200,000 per person. Are we going overboard here?
Well, that may be so, Sean. There's a lot of infrastructure to rebuild also, and electricity, utilities, and what have you, and we have to include the Mississippi and Alabama Gulf Coast as well. But remember, this wasteful spending, this didn't start with Katrina. We were talking today about $15 million that was appropriated by Congress to New Orleans and to the state of Louisiana for flood abatement, emergency flood abatement. That money has disappeared. There was about $14 million paid to contractors, and gee, we don't have any receipts. We don't know where that money went. So it's before and after, and FEMA has a long and very rich history of wasting taxpayer monies. They did it in Florida, they did it in Detroit, they've done it all over the country.
You know, for years, conservatives have blamed liberals for throwing money at problems and thinking they would get solved without any oversight. Isn't that what this Republican administration is doing, throwing money at the problem? They ought to appoint a CFO or somebody to literally write down where every dollar goes, right?
I agree absolutely with you, Alan, and you're right. They're throwing money. Because as has been said on the program earlier tonight, there's enough blame in this Katrina thing to go around. Some people say, well, look at me, I'm throwing money now, so don't hold me blameless.
But George Bush is a liberal.
Well, when it comes to spending, Alan, you are exactly right.
Also, he says he's going to cut unnecessary spending to pay for this. No, just tax cuts, no increase in taxes. But if there's unnecessary spending, given the fact we have Republican House and Senate and President, who's responsible for that?
Right now, the Republicans are. Absolutely, Alan. We've got a $50 million rainforest being built somewhere, a $250 million bridge to nowhere being built in Alaska. You could have bought all 50 people who live on that island their own yacht with that kind of money.
Aren't these the people who wanted a balanced budget, who told us they'd bring us fiscal responsibility?
Well, Alan, now we can play that game, but for years it was the Democrats that were in the deficit spending, then the Republicans said balanced budget. Now the Republicans are spending and the Democrats say balanced budget. It's whoever's in power, whoever's not in power. That's how these roles change.
Democrats aren't going for a balanced budget amendment. They're not making it part of a new contract with America. This was key to what Republicans said they wanted.
Alan, this is Allison. There's a nice one. This is not, let's not make this a partisan issue. Every American taxpayer out there and every single person, and I know you're among them, so is Sean, everybody that has donated some of their hard-earned cash to this relief effort, we deserve, whether it's a Republican or Democratic administration, whoever it is, we deserve accountability. And we need to know that that money we donated and that money that's taken from us in taxes is not being used for fake breasts, lap dances, beer, and Louis Vuitton luggage and all manner of things like
Often
this.
Republicans run on this. They run on the idea we're going to be more responsible than the Democrats. They just throw money at problems. They're wasteful. This is what you guys get elected on.
Well, listen, I'm going to leave it to you, Alan, to do. The Republicans do this, Democrats do that. I just want some accountability out of FEMA. I want accountability out of both sides on the government up there. This is ridiculous the way they're going to be throwing this money around.
All right, so they should not have, you favor tax cuts? You want to have more tax cuts at a time? You want to cut the state taxes at a time when they're still struggling to pay for it and help the rich? Is that what you want to do?
As much as it disturbs the followers of Karl Marx, yes, I want the death tax over with. As a matter of fact, Alan, glad you mentioned that. I want it all gone, okay?
I'm a Marxist. He's the devil, and I'm the devil and the Marxist. That's our new show.
It's a great book, Neil. Congratulations. By the way, if I'm the devil, what is he going to call you?
Oh, well, some of those names you have for me.
Oh, they're all nice. Get out of here.
I know it.
All right, Brother Bortz, thank you.
Love you a long time.
And coming up next, this 17-year-old college freshman vanished 2 weeks ago. We're going to bring you the very latest on the search for Taylor Beal. And Cindy Sheehan is complaining about another politician who won't meet with her. Only this time, it's a Democrat. We're going to give you a hint. Well, she represents the state of New York. Figure it out. We'll tell you the answer straight ahead.
On September 27th, Robin Williams is back.
Get out of my room!
I'm not in your room.
I am now. No, I'm not. I am not. Oh, dear.
Robots. On DVD September 27th.
Who wants to get fixed?
Administaff is like a coach for small businesses. They reduce liabilities and offer a systematic way to improve productivity. They provide big company benefits and handle the burdens of employer-related paperwork. Well, almost all the paperwork.
Does a promise come with an expiration date? Is it good for a month, a year, or decades from now? At New York Life, we make promises promises that have no expiration date. Promises that are built on the timeless values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity. Promises that we live by. So no matter how the world changes around you, New York Life is the company you keep.
Nothing brings out the best in a chef like whipping up brunch.
From sausage and eggs to cinnamon roll French toast and home-style biscuits, there's something extra special about Sunday brunch at Izzy's, where every day is a special day for pizza and a whole lot more.
At Pacific Continental, we know that sometimes all it takes to get your business off the ground and back up where it belongs is just a little well-timed draft. Pacific Continental. That's the PCB way.
Right now, buying a used car is as easy as
1, 2, 3.
It's Bob Lampier's Beaverton Honda used car sell-off. 95 Nissan Altima GXE, just $39.90.
2.
98 Ford Explorer XLT, only $89.90.
3.
97 Toyota 4Runner SR5, just $12,990.
Plus
hundreds more to choose from. And each car comes with Bob's famous 7-day right of exchange and 6-month, 6,000-mile warranty. Just buy Bob and save. Hurry to Beaverton Honda Used Cars.
Comcast.
Pay-per-view.
You want game? This fall, ESPN Game Plan has more than 150 extra college football games. Key matchups and rivalries from major conferences. All available when you order your exclusive ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package.
Don't wait. Bring your team home now and order all the action with ESPN pay-per-view. Call today.
Lunch really lets a chef toss around different ideas.
From fresh summer fruit salads to rib tips and chicken. Whether you can take your time or have to eat and run, lunch is ready when you are. At Izzy's, where we serve pizza and a whole lot more.
Welcome back to Hannity and Combs. I'm Alan Combs. Coming up, Cindy Sheehan has arrived in New York, but Hillary Clinton isn't glad to see her. We'll tell you why. But first, the criminal investigation into the case of missing Virginia Commonwealth University freshman Taylor Beal has intensified with the discovery of Taylor's 1997 Ford Escort. The missing girl's car was located 1.5 miles from her dorm on Saturday morning, but was with replaced stolen Ohio license plates. Richmond police are calling this a tremendous break in the investigation. Joining us now, Northeastern University criminology professor and criminologist Jack Levin. Jack, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
They're saying they're not sure that there's criminality here, yet they're calling it a criminal investigation. Why is that?
Well, you know, there's just not a lot of evidence yet. It's very early, and hundreds of thousands of people are missing by choice every year in this country. Of course, now they have the stolen plates, Ohio vintage, and I think the worst case scenario, and I have to emphasize that this is very rare, it's unlikely, but I think this is what's concerning so many people, is that Taylor somehow was abducted by a sexual sadist. I mean, the only reason I focus on that from the beginning is because she's 17 years old, she's attractive, and when teenage girls are kidnapped, often sex is the motive.
We're putting some information up on the screen for you. The police chief says a 17-year-old of her own volition would not be missing for 13 days. Do you concur with that?
Well, you know, look, there are hoaxes that are perpetrated. There are sorority hoaxes that occur, and pranks, and she might be with her boyfriend someplace. That's the most hopeful scenario. But with every passing day, it becomes more and more likely that something more sinister has happened to her, and that she might even be a homicide victim.
They also say police dogs hit on a few things. That's their phraseology, hit on a few things. What could they be referring to?
Most likely, there are articles that she may have worn. In other words, they have sensed her presence in the area. That doesn't mean that she's is dead. That doesn't mean that she's injured, but it does mean that she was in that area at the time, and that's probably all it means.
What do you make of the license plates being switched and then stolen plates of a different state winding up on the car?
very sophisticated, something that would take some kind of planning, probably beyond what a 17-year-old first-year college student would be able to come up with. And I think that's why the police are looking at this as a little bit more than just a missing person. There does seem to be a crime that has been committed.
Hey, Jack,
hopefully it isn't the most ultimate crime.
I want to go to this issue of this 38-year-old man, this friend's roommate, who took pictures of her, posted them on his provocative website. Though they say he's not a suspect in the case, the man was one of the last people to see her the night that she disappeared. Now, that disturbs me greatly.
Well, you know, I'm disturbed by that as well. You know, what we're seeing nowadays is more high-tech abduction, thanks to the internet, thanks to chat rooms and bulletin boards and email. And, you know, you can masquerade as almost anybody on the internet. You know, a 36-year-old can say that he's 17.
Well, that's part of the problem here, because they've been talking online for a while, and she apparently considered him a confidant of sorts, and she couldn't have known too many people where she was. I mean, so that's very disturbing.
Well, you know, Sean, one thing is probably happening here, and the police are trying to gather evidence. They don't call anyone a suspect yet because they simply don't have the evidence to do it. But I think in the next few days you're going to see that there will be some suspects in this case.
Jack, we thank you very much for being with us tonight. And coming up next, Cindy Sheehan is back, and this time she's targeting Hillary Clinton. We'll tell you about that coming up next on Hannity and Combs.
After tonight, a new clue in the search for a missing college student. Will Taylor Beale's car lead police to her? We took our cameras to the spot where her car was found. We'll show you what we saw. Plus, Taylor's mother tells us about two men who could hold the key to this mystery. Then a boating trip turned deadly for these Michigan lawyers. Was it a tragic accident or foul play? And evacuations are underway right now. Another deadly storm is closing in. We are tracking the storm.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Yay, Pepto-Bismol! Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. Yay, Pepto-Bismol! You see, pink does more than you think. Also in cherry.
At Hyatt Hotels and Resorts, you'll find Wi-Fi in the guest room and beyond. Here, productivity doesn't require proximity.
How can working with the right financial advisor answer the question,
what if?
What if I retire at 58?
At 62.
We both retire
at the same time.
What if we help the kids buy their first house? Make a big gift to our alma mater?
Want to live 6 months a year in London?
Spend the winter in Palm Beach?
What if we buy an antique store?
What if I want to adjust my plans a year from now?
Introducing Envision from Wachovia Securities, a new way of working with our financial advisors that starts with your life and plans your money around it. Talk to us.
Choosing a new low-cost internet service? Check this out. With Netscape's new web accelerator, I can surf up to 5 times faster than standard dial-up. And with Netscape, I get web accelerator for just $9.95.
Net Zero charges $14.95 for that.
Same speed, less money.
Works for me.
Get Netscape with new web accelerator and surf up to 5 times faster for just $9.95. That's over 30% less than Net Zero.
It's just the net you need.
It's the final days of Jeep Employee Pricing Plus. Hurry in now for the best selection of remaining 05s. They're going fast, so get to your Jeep dealer today for our Employee Pricing Plus cash allowance on Jeep Grand Cherokee, Jeep Liberty, or Jeep Wrangler. All with our employee discount, plus up to $2,000 cash allowance on select models, which gets you a Grand Cherokee for just under $24,000. Don't miss out. Visit your Jeep dealer today or visit jeep.com/clearance.
And finally tonight, remember the liberal media, they were breathless last month as anti-war mom Cindy Sheehan, she did the talk show rounds. She graced the cover of newspapers all across the country while she was out there protesting the Iraq war, trying to embarrass the president outside the president's ranch in Crawford, Texas. Well, Now she's in New York, and much to the dismay of the Bush haters, she has a liberal in her sights. That's right, New York's junior senator and Democratic presidential frontrunner Hillary Rodham Clinton. According to the New York Sun, Sheehan told an audience in Brooklyn that she wants Senator Clinton to denounce the war in Iraq or she will lose her job. And the paper also reported that Mrs. Sheehan has requested a meeting with Senator Clinton, but has not gotten a response. Even money won't make the cover of, I bet, the New York Times tomorrow. Any amount of money, but... Isn't that a double standard?
Maybe they'll put tents outside 7th Avenue or outside of,
If Cindy Sheehan won't meet, if Hillary Clinton won't meet with Cindy, isn't that news?
I think it's interesting, and I think the president should have met with her, and I think Hillary should meet with her. I think that our representative should meet with her.
The president already met with her.
I think that he should have. He could have forestalled the whole thing by coming out there, sending out some Danish,
met with her.
Maybe a couple of eggs,
I think Hillary
something
should
to eat.
And you agree Hillary should?
She could have sent out some, you know, could have sent something out there.
On that point of agreement, we're going to end the program. That is all the time we have left this evening. As always, thank you for being with us. Stay tuned because Greta Van Sustren's coming up next. She's going on the record. We'll be back tomorrow night. Have a great night.
This is a Fox News alert. A hurricane warning is in effect, and more than 200,000 Florida residents are under voluntary or mandatory evacuation as Tropical Storm Rita gathers strength and closes in on the coast. The storm is taking aim at Florida tonight, but forecasters warn it could turn towards Louisiana and Texas later this week. The mayor of New Orleans had been planning to reopen large parts of the flooded city this week, but has delayed his plan because of this new threat. We are tracking the storm and will continue to update you throughout the hour. But first, a major break in the search for a missing college student. Police found Taylor Beale's car about 1.5 miles from her dorm room. We took our cameras to Richmond, Virginia, and checked out the spot where Taylor's car was found. We're about 1.5 miles away from VCU, where Taylor Beale is a student. We're in the 500 block of Mulberry Street, and this is where Taylor's 1997 Ford Escort was found. It was found over the weekend on Saturday morning, and what happened was the police, after getting a tip that it was here, someone had spotted the car, is they watched her Ford Escort for a number of hours. What the police were hoping is that someone would show up and perhaps lead them to Taylor, or at least give them some information as to what may have happened to Taylor Beale. Now, the car was significant for one important reason, and that's because it had license tags on it that were not Taylor's. The license tags on her 1997 Ford Escort, the white car, were that of a stolen automobile. They were Ohio license tags, and they were not her license tags. Now, this is where Taylor's car was parked, right about here in the 500 block. The car has now been impounded by the police. The police are searching the car, trying to find out if there are any clues as to where Taylor might be. They're looking for fingerprints, DNA, hair, fiber, anything at all that would tip them off as to where Taylor might be. We spoke earlier with Taylor's mother, and Taylor's mother said that she had been told that there was nothing visibly inside the car to suggest there was foul play. But the car was parked here 1.5 miles away from her campus, and it had the stolen tags on it. And you can see, of course, these orange marks on the pavement, perhaps indicating where Taylor's car had been in case there's any sort of question later if they wanted to process the scene. Usually police officers will process the scene immediately around the car in addition to seizing it. But again, the car has now been impounded. The police are looking for clues, and there's still no sign of Taylor Beale. Taylor Beale was last seen leaving her dorm room at about 10:20 p.m. on September 5. We went to the cafe where Taylor ate a late dinner that night. Take a look at what we saw. On September 5th, sometime in the afternoon, Taylor Beale left her family's home in Northern Virginia, came back here to Richmond, Virginia, where she's going to college. Where she had dinner on the evening of Monday, September 5th, Labor Day, was at this restaurant, the Village Cafe. Now, the Village Cafe is about 1 mile from her dormitory at VCU. Let's go inside. We'll show you where she was inside. Notice, first of all, they've already put up the missing Taylor Beale signs. They're all over town. But this is where she actually had dinner on the night of Monday, September 5. We're told that she came in here, joined some friends at this particular booth right here, and stayed here sometime until late in the afternoon. She arrived back at her dormitory at approximately 10:20 p.m. and then left shortly thereafter. She left her roommate and her roommate's friend alone so they could have some private time. She left. She said she'd be back in a couple hours, but she didn't come back in a couple hours. In fact, about 36 hours later, she was reported missing and has not been seen since. Taylor Beale was only 2 weeks into her freshman year at Virginia Commonwealth University when she disappeared. Her mother, Janet Pellicera, showed us around the campus. Janet, this is a lousy way for the two of us to meet.
I agree.
We're outside. This is the dormitory where your daughter is a student?
Correct.
I noticed even that they've got the posters up. Are they up all over?
Yeah, they are. We've had approximately 2,000 put up, and we're going to this week make new ones with a different picture and a little more of the information that we have now.
For the benefit of people who might be seeing this, is this a current picture of her? This is how she looks?
This is her graduation picture from this June.
Now, how did she pick this school?
She went to visit ODU and didn't feel real comfortable there, and came here and liked the city atmosphere. She's more of a city girl, having had the experience overseas where we were in London and Brussels, and felt comfortable and loved the campus.
Did she declare a major? I know she's just a week or two into school, but have a major?
She had, because she felt like she needed to, which was business, but she had talked about being an entertainment attorney. She talked about going into marketing. She at one time thought she would major in history so she could deal in antiques. So the child was all over the place as far as that. But at 17, it's kind of normal.
This is her dormitory that we're standing out in front of right now, or at least walking towards. Have you been up to the dormitory since your daughter disappeared?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anything unusual inside the room?
No, it's horribly messy, as you would think a dorm would be. I did go through her papers, her school papers, and found her journal that said how excited she was, how much she was enjoying college, and that she had met some good friends, and that she was, enjoying it.
When she arrived back in her dormitory, did her roommate have any conversation with her at all?
Yes, that Taylor was going to go out for a couple of hours and would be back. Other than that specific information, I don't know what else they talked about, but Emma said that Taylor was, her normal self.
Roommate had a guest over?
Yes, and we think that Taylor probably left to give them some privacy.
Her car has been found.
Yes.
Which may provide a lot of clues.
Yes.
Do you know where the car was found?
It's a residential area in the Fan District at Mulberry and Monument.
She had no friends in that area as far as you know?
I do believe she did have one friend there.
In that area?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Do you think you might know who it is?
Yes.
Is it a man?
Yes.
Is it the man who's had her picture on the website?
No.
Different man?
Yes.
Is this a friend and someone?
It would be a new friend that she met at the Village Cafe.
That night?
I don't know. No, I mean, she knew him before that night, but she might have met him. I don't know. I can't guess.
How far does he live from where the car was parked?
I don't think very far.
Like within houses or blocks?
Oh yeah, within houses.
Have the police spoken to him?
I believe so, more than once, since the beginning of her being missing.
What do you know about him? Is he a student?
No, I do not know. I know he's a skateboarder.
Is he about her age?
I think he could be a little older.
Is this someone different from the man who had her picture posted on the website?
Oh, yes.
What's the story on them? I mean, those pictures were perfectly innocent looking pictures. I mean, she's fully clothed. There's nothing bizarre about them. They're just pretty pictures of a young woman. Do you know anything about those pictures?
All I know is that they're gone, and they were taken back in April.
But they were on the website. The minute she disappears, they're off the website.
After it was kind of announced via the media, then they were taken down.
Do you know, how did she meet him in April?
She met him in February. He was a roommate of the friend from Vienna that she has here that she stayed with, and he was a roommate of the friend.
And those are pictures he took, not pictures she took and gave to him.
I can't confirm that, but I can't confirm that.
Did you ever know or hear of him before she disappeared?
I knew that he was a roommate, and I was told by Taylor that he was a 38-year-old man, had a family in Pennsylvania, and I assumed he was here as an art student and was going to go back to Pennsylvania once he finished his courses.
Now, you've spoken to him.
Yes, I have.
I know you're not a big fan of his.
Yes.
Anything peculiar or unusual, or any questions you have for him?
He's kind of scary looking, not, you know, a nice clean-cut young man. Questions would be, does he know where Taylor is? Did he provide the stolen license plates? Does he know where she is?
Coming up, Taylor's mother will tell us what she thinks happened to her daughter and whether she still has hope that her only child will be found alive. And later, police searched the home of a man who saw Taylor an hour before she disappeared. What did they take from his home? And is his computer the key to this mystery? His lawyer is here.
There's an even better way to care for your nest egg. Objective financial advice. A.G. Edwards. For 118 years, fully invested in our clients.